The Eisendrath Bearer of Light Award, the highest award that our movement gives, and it's hard to think of somebody who deserves it more. He was, for our movement, a great regional director, the founding director of the Religious Action Center, and an institution builder here, who won the respect of political leaders and religious community leaders and Israeli leaders in a way that put the Religious Action Center on the map.
I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play a role in what I consider to be the pulsating heart of American democracy.
We wanted it to be a center. We wanted it to be a center of moral energy, not just Reform Jewish energy, of moral energy in the Jewish community. We wanted to attract it. We wanted to compel it. We wanted it to be contagious.
And I said, let's call it religious action, because religious is kosher and social action is not kosher.
Dick Hirsch was the first head of the RAC, and that was an almost impossible position to be in, and Dick carried it off just incredibly and beautifully. He's one of the great diplomats.
One year in 1973, we picked up and moved to Israel because my father had an idea, a Zionist conviction of the world, and he had a vision about the centrality of Israel to the future of the Reform movement. I remember the days when the World Union for Progressive Judaism, that big central complex in Jerusalem now, at the time there was a caravan in an open field, and that was the World Union office for the first couple of years.
Rabbi Richard Hirsch moved the international headquarters of the World Union from New York to Jerusalem in 1973 to ensure that progressive Jews around the world had a place and a voice in the state of Israel.
What happens in and to Israel will impact on the destiny of Jews throughout the world. Therefore, we have a stake in what happens here.
Just as the Union of American Hebrew Congregations moved its headquarters from Cincinnati to New York and to get into the center of Jewish action in America, so the World Union has to move to Jerusalem in order to be in the center of Jewish destiny.
When my dad started with an outlandish idea that we could convert this little piece of property into the cornerstone of the world reform movement, and we could develop a strong, viable movement in Israel, most people thought it was ridiculous. That stone that was discarded by basically everybody is now the cornerstone.
His book, From the Hill to the Mount, from Capitol Hill to the Mount in Jerusalem, it is really a book that captures the spectacular career of one of the great leaders of Reform Jewish life and of the Jewish people in the second half of the 20th century.
Dick, in your own life, you are a Zionist story of moving yourself to Israel, building your home in Jerusalem, and connecting, enhancing the connections between the Reform movement and Reform Jews throughout the world.
You have a stubborn, focused, and wonderful insistence on being ethical and Jewish at one and the same time.
Dick is our beloved patriarch. Without his vision, determination, stubbornness, insistence, we would not have here in Jerusalem the center for the World Union for Progressive Judaism.
ולתפארת מדינת ישראל.
We both contributed to the state of Israel, interacted with Israel's leaders, became a major force in the broad political scene and the Jewish scene, and at the same time worked to build up a grassroots synagogue movement, reform movement on the ground in Israel at the same time that he was trying to strengthen connections with Reform Jews in North America. It's an extraordinary story. There's not any other person who comes close to his level of devotion and achievement to this particular cause.
Dick Hirsch, one of the true heroes of American Jewish life in the 20th century.
Marked the moment in 1973 when everything began to change in the Reform movement in terms of world Jewry. If there's some way that all of the thousands of people who might see this and bestowing on my dad this honor can appreciate the historic nature of what we're doing here today, that will have made it all worthwhile.